A leader nearly walked by his old friend until he recognized him. It was a hot, sunny afternoon in Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso. President Ibrahim Traoré had just wrapped up a surprise visit to a local school. His convoy was parked at the curb, engines humming softly, when something caught his attention. There, slumped against a cracked, dusty wall, sat a man with a tin cup in front of him. His clothes were ragged and stained, and his hair had uneven gray patches. His sunken eyes reflected years of hardship. People passed by without a glance, as if he were part of the pavement. Ibrahim furrowed his brow. Why does he look familiar? He told his security team to wait. His voice brooked no argument. The man looked up, squinting against the sunlight, disbelief on his lips. Ibrahim. His voice cracked. Ibrahim's chest tightened. Musa. He stepped closer, searching the gaunt face. Yes, it was him, once full of life, now just a shadow of his former self. Musa tried to stand, his knees trembling. "It's really you," he whispered. "I'm here," Ibrahim confirmed, gripping his shoulder. "What happened to you?" Tears welled in Musa's eyes, which he quickly brushed away. "It's a long story, one I never thought I'd tell you, not like this. Come with me, we can talk." Musa glanced at his bare feet. "I can't, not like this. I'm not fit to enter your car." "You're my friend, and that's what matters." Ibrahim's tone left no room for refusal. Minutes later, Musa found himself at the presidential residence. He took a bath, changed into clean clothes, and sat down to a meal. He ate slowly, almost as if afraid the food might disappear. Between bites, his eyes flickered between gratitude and shame. Once the plates were cleared, Ibrahim poured 2 glasses of juice and sat across from him. "So, tell me, you were one of the smartest guys I knew. What happened?" Musa stared at the glass and let out a long sigh. "It all started about 3 years ago," he began. He shared the story of his life as a respected school principal in Bobo Dioulasso, how he built a small house with his savings and married a woman named Stella. "At first we were happy, at least I thought we were, but she began to distance herself, always glued to her phone, snapping at me for no reason. I thought it was just stress and ignored the signs." His voice wavered. "One afternoon, I came home early and found her in our bed with another man." Ibrahim clenched his jaw. "What did you do?" "I walked out," Musa whispered. "I couldn't fight, I was shaking, and she didn't even apologize. She followed me outside, said it was over, told me to leave my own house because it was him she loved now." Ibrahim's eyes narrowed. "Leave the house you built?" "Yes," Musa said bitterly. "I refused. She took me to court, lied about paying for the house, even produced fake documents. The judge believed her, I was thrown out." "What about your job?" "I lost that too. Every last bit of my savings went to lawyers. Soon I had nothing. No home, no work, no dignity. I stayed with a friend for a bit, but shame gnawed at me. I left and ended up begging for scraps, eating just once a day if I was lucky, and every time I closed my eyes I saw her laughing with him." His head hung low, tears streamed down his cheeks. "I became a shadow. I wanted to die, Ibrahim, I really did." President Ibrahim Traoré stood up, his voice steady but filled with warmth. "Musa, you didn't deserve any of this, but I promise your story will change." Musa's gaze lifted slowly. "You still call me your friend?" Ibrahim's gaze softened. "Musa, I never stopped." That night, Musa slept soundly for the first time in years. Meanwhile, Ibrahim sat in his office, untouched papers strewn before him, his thoughts consumed by the man who once stood by his side, sharing books and shielding him from bullies. He gripped his pen with quiet determination. "I'll give him a fresh start." The following morning, Musa awoke to the scent of warm bread and fried eggs. The soft bed, clean sheets, and neatly folded clothes felt unreal compared to the cold pavement of the day before. There was a gentle knock. "Come in," he said. Staff member entered with a tray. "Good morning, sir. The president asked me to serve you." Musa sat up, still in shock. "Thank you, truly." As he ate, a thought kept circling in his mind. "Yesterday I was a beggar, today I'm a guest in the presidential residence. What will tomorrow bring?" Later in the garden, Ibrahim approached him in simple clothes, his presence calm yet commanding. "Musa, your story broke my heart," he said. "I didn't mean to bring trouble into your life," Musa murmured. "You didn't bring trouble," Ibrahim replied. "You brought truth, and truth should lead to action." "Action?" Musa asked, feeling uncertain. "I've made arrangements," Ibrahim said. "This morning you'll see a doctor. After that I want to take you somewhere." By the afternoon, Musa had been seen by a doctor, given medicine, and received his first haircut in years. The man looking back at him in the mirror was no longer the broken figure from the roadside. His eyes had a faint spark. Ibrahim drove him to the edge of the city, stopping in front of a small cream and brown house with a neat garden. "It's beautiful," Musa said quietly. "Whose is it?" "It's yours," Ibrahim replied with a smile. Musa's voice faltered. "Ibrahim, this is too much." "It's fully paid for. No one can take it from you," Ibrahim reassured him. "Why would you do this for me?" Musa whispered. "Because I remember who you are," Ibrahim said, his eyes glistening. "You gave me books when I had none. You defended me when I was alone. You believed in me before I even believed in myself." Musa shook his head, overwhelmed. "I only did what friends do. And now," Ibrahim said, placing a firm hand on his shoulder, "I'm doing the same." Inside, the warmth of the home embraced him. There was a cozy living room, a clean kitchen, a bright bedroom, and even a small office with a desk and bookshelves. "I've also opened a bookshop and school supply store for you," Ibrahim added. "It's right next to a secondary school. You'll run it and I'll cover the first year's expenses. I know your love for education. Let's put it to use." Musa's hands trembled. For the first time in years, his tears were not from pain but from hope. Over the next few weeks, Musa's life changed dramatically. He managed the store with discipline and care. Students came every day for pens, notebooks, and textbooks, some even staying to ask him questions about their studies. Musa never turned them away. "You can't just memorize," he told one boy, pointing at a math problem. "Understand the steps and the answer will come." Word spread quickly. The community began to recognize him again, not as a beggar but as Mr. Musa, a man who had risen from the ground up. One Saturday afternoon, while he was sorting books, he heard a soft voice behind him. "Musa." He turned around, almost dropping the book he was holding. Standing at the door was Stella, his ex-wife. Her face was pale, her clothes plain and worn, and her jewelry was gone. She had a small suitcase beside her. "Can we talk?" she asked quietly. Outside the shop, Musa folded his arms. "What do you want, Stella?" Tears filled her eyes. "I have nowhere to go. He left me. The man I chose over you sold our house, emptied my account, and ran off with another woman. I've lost everything." Musa took a deep breath. "I'm sorry for what happened," she whispered, "and I'm asking if I can stay just for a while." He stared at her for a long moment. This was the woman who had once walked away without a second thought. "Stella," he said calmly, "I forgave you a long time ago, but I've moved on. My life is peaceful now. You chose your path and I've chosen mine." Her head drooped in shame. "Please, even just a room." "I wish you well," Musa replied, his voice steady, "but this is not your home." Without another word, he turned and walked back into the shop, his heart pounding. That night, Musa called Ibrahim. "She came back," he said simply. "And what did you say?" Ibrahim asked. "I told her no." On the other end, Ibrahim's smile was evident in his voice. "I'm proud of you. You didn't just give me a house and a business," Musa said. "You gave me back my dignity." Life settled into a quiet rhythm. The shop thrived. Musa welcomed each student and teacher with warmth, becoming more than just a shopkeeper. He was a helper, a listener, and a father figure to many. One Friday morning, while he was arranging pens on the counter, the doorbell jingled. A woman in a simple blue dress entered, her smile warm and her eyes bright. "Good morning," she said. "Do you have senior school math textbooks?" "Yes," Musa replied. "Come with me." She followed him to the shelf, chose what she needed, and returned to the counter. "I've seen you before," she said as he packed her books. "You help children who can't afford supplies. They remind me of who I used to be." Musa smiled. She extended her hand. "I'm Grace. I teach at the secondary school nearby." He shook her hand. "Musa, I own the shop." Her eyebrows rose. "That's wonderful. This place feels so welcoming. We need more people like you." Musa felt his heart race. It had been a while since he'd spoken to a woman like this. "Thank you," he said softly. "That's kind of you." Weeks passed, and Grace became a regular part of Musa's days. She visited sometimes for teaching supplies, other times just to check in. Their conversations grew warmer, often spilling over into shared lunches that she brought from home. Musa would walk her back to the school, and they'd exchange stories, some bittersweet, others filled with quiet laughter. Grace had known loss too, a widow raising her daughter alone. She understood both grief and the slow process of healing. One evening, while sitting outside the shop as the sky glowed gold, Grace said, "You're a strong man."